Hello there, my friends. You know, on this channel, if you've been watching for any amount of time, and if you haven't, well, here's the thing. I try to be as honest as possible, and I like to address, actually, the questions that I believe people have, but don't necessarily get answered on particular videos. And maybe this is me wanting to be really niche and be hyper specific, but when you get that initial flash of inspiration, that initial spark, the Damascene moment that leads you to start a great endeavor, after which the enthusiasm and that initial spark can often wear off very, very quickly. I think one of the questions that people have is it normal that I feel completely overwhelmed and like I've just been hit by a truck? And the truth is, yes, it is completely normal, because I'm 44 years old and I actually I'm getting to a point now where I really do understand far better that I've not been starting over and over and over again. I've just been going through the necessary process in order to get to where I really, really want to go, and going through all of the various stages that have led to where I am right now. I still struggle with patience. I'm not patient at all. But I realised that I have done stuff that I've needed to do in order to learn the lessons, to gain the wisdom, in order to keep progressing. So it's absolutely normal that you are going to feel completely overwhelmed. And if you're anything like me, if you are an older man who is embarking on something that feels new, well, the thing is, you might have been waiting for 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or even 30 years to actually take action on the things that really mean a lot to you, that fill you with that sense of purpose that, you know, I often talk about. So when you actually seriously decide to pursue whatever it is that you've dreamt of, well, you're going to be getting over a lot of procrastination, a lot of doubt, and you're going to very, very likely have feelings of failure or regret, because you will be asking yourself another really obvious question. Well, why didn't I do this 5 or 10 years ago? But what we have to understand is that everything that's happened is water under the bridge, and we can't go back and change it. We can't rewrite history. We've done what we've done. We are where we are. And the fastest way to actually make progress is to just accept that. Be radically accepting of who you are, what you've done, and put your best foot forward and start to actually move in the direction that you've always really wanted to go. But I hold that every single stage has been necessary and things come at the right time. And I am rather obsessed with messiness. I love everything to be really, really neat. And yesterday, for example, I had an unbelievably productive day. I got loads and loads of work done. And actually, because it was really focused work and full of purpose, it didn't actually take that long. And if you think that, oh, I've been waiting for 5 or 10, 2 decades to do this, I'm doing this kind of dancing around, because the thing is, all of this, we are making things up as we go along. We like to think that we have this grand plan, but we really, really don't. And you might think, oh God, all that I had to do was half an hour a day or an hour a day. And it's like, well, yeah, but who knows what you've been through in your past? Who knows how many hurdles that you've had to climb, other things that you've had to do, that life has necessitated for you to do, working, family, the amount of money that you've been earning, whatever it is. We are all subject to our circumstances to some degree. But when you make a decision a really firm decision, and you make it for yourself, because everything that you're doing, this is something else that you really have to bear in mind. Practically everything that we do from the youngest of ages, long before we can actually really remember the early stages of our lives, are completely mapped out, and we're just being fed down the conveyor belt of life. When you make a decision to actually do something really deep and meaningful for you, well, it's of you, it's of your own character, it's of your own desire, it's by you, you're having to make all of the decisions, and it's for you alone. It's not thinking, oh well, how's that person going to be affected? What's that person going to think of me? Is my family going to disown me? And whether we like it or not, these are things that are happening in our head all the time, and that we've used as excuses. They've never actually been fully concrete, fully real, but we have to accept. We have used those as reasons or excuses for why we haven't done what we've done. But truthfully, the reason that we haven't done the things that we really wanted to do is because we've lacked the bravery to do them. And we haven't been willing to put ourselves first, because we're taught that that's a terrible thing, that that's a sin, that you've got to be thinking about what other people need. What do you need? Have you ever actually really questioned this? Have you actually asked the question, seriously, what do you need? Imagine a world full of people who were doing what brought them genuine joy, fulfilled their sense of purpose, the reason why we've all been placed on this planet, why we've all been brought here. That stuff matters. And we ignore that deep need within ourselves at our peril. And you can see what it does to people who've really wanted to do things that haven't. You can see how they walk, how they conduct themselves. And there is a sense of regret in that. But for me, regret has never been an option. And maybe I've done some enormous mental gymnastics in order to convince myself that every single stage was necessary. And I do believe that. Maybe I'm completely deluding myself. I don't know. But I know that I can't go back and change anything. It's all happened. It's all been done. And whatever has happened, whatever stage of life that you're at, well, to me, it serves the best possible purpose to accept that it had to happen that way, that there was no other way for it to happen. Because it's always in hindsight that we say that. It's never at the time, We're not conscious enough in the earlier stages of our lives often to actually say, is this really worth my time? Am I doing the right thing? Hardly anybody really pauses to ask that question. So ask yourself now and behave in a way that you really give a shit about yourself. That's why Jordan Peterson became famous, actually posing that question before, all of the craziness and the politics stuff. Stick to what you're good at, and really do act as if you matter, because you do. And we're taught that there's something fake and gay about all of this kind of talk, but there isn't. What people aren't willing to do is face the fact that they have feelings, they feel disappointed, they feel regretful, they feel like they've wasted time. Well, the best way to counter that is to actually start, like I said in my video yesterday. Imagine if you took 6 months to a year of really focused work. Imagine what you could achieve. And that's going to take the edge of this enormous overwhelm, that it doesn't just happen in a day, it doesn't happen in a week or a month. It takes a certain amount of time to get these things done. It's often a lot longer to do them, but Imagine the feeling of purpose and joy that you'll get on a daily basis, knowing that you are consistently working to what really matters for you. And that is a decision that you can make any day, as whenever you want to do it. So make the decision for yourself now.